Hello, everyone. I thought I would go in here and get the out and welcome to the holiday live stream. Um, today, I want to talk about three topics. Um, um, topic number one is um is the political climate. Um, I realized that within the within the political climate, I realized that there is another thing that's happening, and that's the um the gambling when it comes to the election, and which is why I agree that money should be out of politics because mm, the money the the fact that money is involved in politics, is a I would say to me is not a positive thing. But yeah, I want to go ahead and say that at the end of the day, I believe that politics should be gone from, politics. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. Um, the moment they decided to uh, I'm gonna say this, the absolute moment that people were allowed to go ahead and you know pretty much when when it comes to like I'm not gonna lie, I, I suspected that the when gambling, was legal, then all of a sudden it's going to trickle down to politics as well. And the money in politics is not good. It's not good at all. It really isn't. Now, now, when it really comes down to is well, what I'm saying is this. Like at the I'm like at the very end of the day when it comes down to it, and yeah, so I'm down with getting money out of politics because and I'm I'm just I'm just gonna say, and I'm just gonna say this, you know, in the case when it comes to the money in politics, I agree with Bernie Sanders. Money has to be taken out of politics, and I'll stand on the statement that I made. And now we're gonna go. And now I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Now I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about because there is something more that is happening within the political climate, and I want to go ahead and get it out there. So here's the video.
Elections, something once banned by federal regulators. And while polls show former President Trump in a narrow lead over Vice President Harris in the final stretch of the election, multiple betting markets have Trump dominating Harris.
Supporters of prediction markets say that they provide another useful data point. Besides opinion polls, which have been proven to be flawed in some past election cycles,
here's what this new world of political betting can tell us about the upcoming presidential election, and why some critics are sounding the alarm on the implications of trading on the future of the country. Election betting is now available to Americans thanks to a recent court ruling in a battle between betting platform Kalshi and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. In early October, a federal appeals court legalized election betting.
The rulings have allowed a certain limited kind of election betting, which is election contracts on regulated exchanges.
Americans can now place what are known as yes or no contracts on Kalshi and ForecastX, a platform run by Interactive Brokers.
Let's say that you want to bet on Kamala Harris winning the election. You can buy contracts that will pay out if Kamala Harris wins the election. Let's say that those are priced for 40 cents. What that means is that traders assess right now that there's a 40% chance of Kamala winning. You could go and buy 100 of those contracts for $40. After the election is resolved, if Kamala Harris is inaugurated president, you will get $100. If she is not inaugurated president, you will get $0.
On the crypto-based prediction market Polymarket, which prohibits Americans from trading, bettors give Trump a more than 60% chance of winning.
The gamblers are the ones that are the only ones that want to say it.
Although prediction markets have a mixed record of forecasting election results, some users on Polymarket recently made successful bets on President Biden dropping out of the race, while the White House was still insisting he would stay in.
I'm in this to complete the job I started.
Just who is betting on the election isn't entirely clear.
We don't have a great visibility right now into who is trading on Kalshi or the offshore sites like Polymarket. There's definitely a lot of retail interest. There do seem to be a few very high volume, fairly profitable individual traders using these platforms for a while now.
But what is clear is that gamblers are betting big. Gambling on elections is Polymarket's most popular offering, with more than $2.2 billion in trading volume on its main market for this year's presidential race. Supporters of prediction markets say they provide a useful data point besides opinion polls.
Betting markets also have the advantage of reacting in real time to events. So if something happens in the news, say a candidate does poorly in a debate,
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America.
you will immediately see a reaction to that.
In a post on X, Elon Musk argued that betting markets are more accurate than polls because people are putting real money on the line.
Americans' faith in opinion polls took a big hit after 2016, when opinion polls generally forecast that Hillary Clinton would win the election.
And we begin a new chapter tonight.
Instead, Donald Trump pulled a surprise. They didn't do that good a job in 2020 either, when opinion polls predicted a giant blowout for Joe Biden. And in fact, the race was a lot tighter than many people had expected. And so I think that that has fueled a lot of interest in prediction markets now.
But betting markets have a mixed track record when it comes to predicting election results.
In 2016, for example, betting markets saw Hillary as likely to win. They were taking cues from the polls, and they turned out to be wrong. The betting markets were more favorable to Trump than the polls were in the 2020 election.
Critics of betting markets say that they have their biases.
For instance, you can have a few large whale accounts do very big trades and push a market in a particular direction. Another criticism that some people have raised of markets like Polymarket is that their users tend to be kind of pro-Trump crypto bros or libertarians.
Polymarket declined to comment. In a statement, Kalshi said that the idea that markets are being manipulated on Kalshi is ill-founded. It added that it was openly releasing internal data showing large traders actually slightly favor Harris. And Interactive Brokers said that it doesn't have any evidence to refute or support claims of market manipulation. The company also said that in a liquid market, big trades should balance each other out.
There is this idea that it's sort of inappropriate for a democracy. It skews the incentives of voters.
I've taken the floor tonight to ring the alarm bells for our democracy with grave concerns about the opening up of a casino for betting on our elections.
There's a related concern that it could actually be involved in some sort of election manipulation schemes. Somebody who has knowledge of how an election is going to play out, or revelations that will come out about a candidate, could seek to profit from that.
Despite their rise in popularity in 2024, it's unclear what will happen to these prediction markets after the election.
There have been prediction market startups before that have launched different marketplaces, and they have gotten attention. In general, they've done very well during US presidential election years. but that there tends to be a big drop off in interest afterwards. So for all these guys, Kalshi, ForecastX, Polymarket, I think a big test will be to see whether they can continue to maintain trading volume and interest even after we know who won the 2024 election.
And then November 20.
Well, well, I went on ahead and showed y'all the video of it. And yeah, like I said, money needs to be out of politics, no questions asked. And that's why in the 2028 election, if there's a candidate that says that they want money out of politics, yeah, I'll vote for that candidate, because enough is enough. I mean, they're already betting in sports like football and basketball. I mean, for real. What do you get out of betting in an election besides the money? I don't. To me, I don't get. I don't understand it. But yeah, that's what I wanted to show y'all, because, like I said again, you know, it, it is what it is. But yeah, now I'm gonna talk about, and not only that, but the division, the divide in the country is bigger than it was before, and it's like at this point, money has to be taken out of politics. It has to be. Um, Next, we have violence against women and children. Now, I've seen the violence against women and children ramp up recently, and it, I would say it's legitimately, it's sad and messed up at the same time, because at this point, you know, it already confirms what the women have been saying, and that is that it's, number one, it's not safe to bring children into this world, and and well, because of it, the intention, thing. Well, I would say it's not safe to bring children in this world. You know, um, I will also say that women are being taken out left and right. Um, and right now, I'm gonna show you a video. Um, and when I saw this video, I was to tell you the truth, I was shocked. You know what I mean? When I say I was shocked, you know, but then you have, but then, and then you have Fresh and Fit and them saying, all the women are more violent than men. The videos that I'm seeing says differently. And and you know what I've realized is that the men in the manosphere wants to play victim all the time. And that destroys people who are real victims. And it doesn't take a rocket the scientists to know about, about that. But yeah, but yeah, to try and say that women are more violent than the men, that screams, and believe me when I say this, that screams that men that men always want to be victims, and then when a man is a victim, then nobody believes him. Why? Because of the black manosphere. Because of the manosphere itself is the reason why. But women are more violent than men, which that's not true. You know what? And you know something else I've learned? I learned that and trust me, I went down the river. I've learned more about what happened, about what happens when a woman and the child is a victim of domestic abuse and everything. And it's like they're ignored by the powerful. You know, um, as of right now, I'm gonna show you. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna show you 3 or 4, maybe 4 videos of the topic of violence against women. And this is the first one right here.
Gracie Spinks, Terry Harris, Emma and Letty Patterson, all killed by men they knew. Police chiefs say violence against women and girls is ingrained in society, an epidemic.
I don't think that any person should ever cry to put the key in the front of their door because they don't know what they're going to get.
Mary, not her real name, suffered more than 20 years of abuse by her ex-partner. He was convicted of assaulting their child, but not her.
It was my child who called the police, and on the first few visits, they were very supportive. But it was dealt with as an isolated event. We're talking years of systematic abuse, attempted murder, GBH, the list is endless, child abuse, strangulation, and he got away with all of it, partially because it wasn't taken seriously enough.
But domestic abuse is linked to 1 in 6 homicides in England and Wales. Here in Essex, police knew they needed a better way of identifying the most dangerous abusers, other than looking at previous offences. AI was used to analyse domestic homicide data and revealed common behaviours which led to killings, like controlling behaviour and stalking. Detective Superintendent Matt Cornish created a threat to life database of those with a history of such behaviour.
Some of these have had 10, 12, 15 different victims within 3 years. We're looking at probably thousands of domestic abuse allegations or criminal offences that have been made against or made by them.
So at least several hundred victims.
Yes, there were 550 victims linked to 103 perpetrators.
We met 2 of the men police say posed the greatest risk.
The social services come into my property and sat there and told my partner bluntly, he will kill you. As ruthless as that sounds.
I see women being killed through domestics. That could have been my victim.
Have you got your phone on you?
Yeah.
This man we're calling Eddie is subject to a stalking protection order. We're not identifying him to protect the anonymity of the women who reported him to police.
Passwords remain the same,
Yeah.
and your email address remains the same.
He's agreed to be strictly supervised by the domestic abuse team. Acting Detective Inspector Hayley Lambert's officers check on perpetrators daily and pay them unannounced visits.
We would want to know where they work, what vehicle they drive, who they associate with, where they frequent, all of that, to have a real understanding of their lifestyle and their type of offending and who else might be involved in that.
In return for being monitored and managed, perpetrators can get help.
It's never too late to change your behaviour.
A charity provides counselling, helping abusers understand the impact on their victims.
If you're abusive in your relationship, get help.
Make a change.
Eddie has convictions for domestic abuse. Over the years, there have been almost 100 allegations against him.
A lot of mine was over the phone, malicious. I was horrible. I was making threats to her, to people that she was saying she was with to wind me up. I was ruthless. Like, I didn't care. But drugs played a part of it. My emotions played a part of it.
The work you've been doing with the police around your behaviour and your feelings, how has that helped you?
I learned to think more. My partner and me, we have a disagreement. I walk away, she calms down, or I think we both respect our relationship. My arrests compared to what my arrests have been in the last month speak volumes, so I think it's something like 97 investigations against me, and in the last 12 months there's been nothing.
Earlier in the programme, Eddie was charged with breaching his stalking protection order. He pleaded not guilty and will be up in court next year. Dave, not his real name, also breached his order and went back to prison last year.
I believe like jealousy, mental health. It was just obviously drugs, alcohol took effect. And like 5 years on, I don't touch a drink of alcohol. I've not touched drugs in 4 years.
Do you think you are less of a risk today?
I hope to believe I'm less of a risk with the stuff that I've worked on, the stuff I'm still working on now. I'm a lot calmer in myself. My mentality's changed.
So you are.
It doesn't always work. This man was released from jail and immediately breached a restraining order. He was taken straight back to prison.
If they commit offences whilst they are engaged in that programme, we will deal with those offences. It's as simple as that. They don't get a free pass.
What would you say to those who query investing time and, I guess, significant amounts of money in men who may have offended against women?
Yeah, I think ultimately we are trying to work with perpetrators to stop them abusing women and to stop them creating harm and hurting people. I find it really difficult to think of anything else that I want to spend my money on.
Essex police don't claim to be creating model citizens, but in the last year they've seen 140 fewer repeat victims and hope they may have found a way to break the cycle of domestic abuse.
Well, I've been speaking to Deputy Chief Constable Maggie Blythe, who's the National Police Chief's Council lead on violence against women and girls. And I began by asking her why she thought that violence against women and girls had gone up by 37% since 2018.
It's a huge volume of crime, and we're calling it an epidemic. We think there's many reasons for that. We have some confidence that women and girls are coming forward to report these crimes to us. This is 20% of reported crime into policing. Policing is dealing with this every day. On a level of the national threat that it is, we're taking our methodology from the way we approach counter-terror, the way we approach serious and organised crime, to have national coordination, to set standards through our National College of Policing, to look at training, to look at ensuring we have the right workforce in the police service to provide the right service to victims.
And once they have come forward to report, what confidence can they have in the police? Because, hundreds of police officers across England and Wales are now under investigation for sexual domestic abuse themselves.
Because of the scale of what we're reporting today, 1 in 12 women in this country will be victims of these crimes. We think 1 in 20 of the population are perpetrators. So largely men, not always, but male perpetrators will be working in every organisation, and certainly we found them in policing. We've been turning the stones, rooting out those officers that we don't think meet the standards of a police officer.
If you're treating it like terrorism, then you've got to put more money into it, haven't you? And, how much money, how much more money? There's a spending review coming up. Make your pitch now to the government.
I've already had that conversation with new ministers into the new government. There is no doubt in my mind and in the mind of every police chief in this country that because of the level of threat that we're seeing, we have to properly resource it. We are aware that there will be a spending review coming up through government, and we are clear that we will continue to do what we need to do, but having that national coordination is needed.
We've reported extensively on deepfake online porn. How concerned are you about the scale of that at this stage?
One of the features of doing a threat assessment from policing, this is our judgment of the scale of a threat, is to look at emerging complexity, emerging new crime, and the online harm in terms of violence against women is something that's still we're at the early stages of understanding just the extent to which criminals can use this.
Recently, we reported on leading MPs being deepfaked, and they then called in the police. I spoke to the officer handling the investigation. He basically said, well, there's not very much we can do. We're not going to be able to catch the perpetrator because they're probably overseas. Maybe true, but there wasn't that sort of drive to investigate.
There has to be a drive to investigate it, and we have to understand the awful impact that this has on women in positions of authority and women anywhere.
You're looking at huge backlogs in the courts, prisoners being released from jail early because there isn't the space for them. How would you describe the criminal justice system right now and how it's serving victims?
We know our prisons are near full to capacity. We know with the scale and the numbers of perpetrators there are out there that even if we were to arrest all and lock them up, that isn't going to be the right approach. One of the interesting features of our threat assessment is the age of perpetrators. We know that children and young people are drawn into being both victims and suspects of these types of crime, particularly online. It wouldn't be appropriate and right to criminalise all, the average age is 15, all young people at this stage. So we've got to have a different approach to how we're tackling these crime types. Maggie
Blythe, thanks very much.
Wow, that was that was a whole lot to take in. It was a whole lot to take in. This is interesting, I think, with the MAGA patriarchy claiming victory over women and spiting crime will increase in the coming months. Yeah, I think so too. Average age 15. Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. That that I was thinking the same thing. Okay, next is next is another one, and and I would say the final two will be when because the violence against women and children are about to go up, and and to me is this is not good. Mm-mm. I'm gonna go ahead and show you another video, and this is about the violence against women and the girls. And I'm gonna go ahead and let the video play right now. And here we hang on, y'all. I'm gonna put the dang. I'm gonna go ahead and put the StreamYard link in the chat in case anybody wants to come up and talk about this. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna show y'all this video right here.
Violence against women and girls has reached epidemic levels, according to police, amid growing concerns that misogynistic influencers like Andrew Tate are fueling sex offences committed by teenage boys. Now, police chiefs have branded the crisis a national emergency after an official report found that more than 1 million violent crimes against women and children were recorded in the 12 months to March 2023. That's equivalent to almost 3,000 crimes every single day in England and Wales. Stunningly, the average age of suspects accused of sexual abuse of girls is 15. The average age of their victims is just 13. Then when you look at all the numbers, child sexual abuse and exploitation offences increased more than 5-fold between 2013 and 2022, from just over 20,000 to nearly 107,000, according to police analysis. So just when you look at these numbers, they are really staggering because violent crimes against women and children have gone up by 37% in 4 years. 2 million women every single year will be victims of violent crime, equivalent to 1 in 12 women. What's even worse about this is they say these estimates are cautious. Joining me now is Emily Constantus, who is Global CEO of the Safeguarding Alliance. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks ever so much for coming on. I'm really staggered reading this. Epidemic levels, the violence against women and girls. What's going on here? Because you have got these influencers like Andrew Tate, and I know talking to young people, and particularly young teenage boys, like, for example, friends of my nephews, that actually they do pay attention to what he's saying. They are captivated by the stuff that's online, and clearly it's having an effect on their behaviour.
Absolutely. I think really we need to have greater education. It's not just around the education though. We have to have stronger legislation. We don't have enough deterrent to stop people doing such things. We need to have safer sentencing. Obviously, we read earlier that we're looking at potentially early release from prison, but actually, why are we not building more prisons? The sentencing isn't high enough to actually deter such crimes. Absolutely, you are correct. What's happening online is effectively young boys are being groomed to undertake such behaviour, and we need to look at what we're doing to better educate them and actually provide support services. But I think this really goes back to actually we need to deter through stronger sentencing. Really pushing what we're calling for safer sentencing. Why should criminals be allowed to get out early and actually continue to put young people at risk for such things? So we really do need to look at actually how we can deter young people from such crimes.
Well, you're right. Shabana Mahmood, the Justice Secretary, said that people will be released after they serve 40% of the sentence, not 50%. They say this will reduce the number by 5,000. You're right, though. We need to build more prisons and to make sure that there is a deterrent in place. Can I just go back to what on earth is going wrong in the minds of teenage boys? You said they're being groomed. Can you explain, if there are parents listening or watching to this, parents of teenage boys who have no idea what we're talking about, how are they being groomed?
Absolutely. It's what's happening online. If we look through social media platforms that are being drawn in, it's no different to any other type of radicalization, but it's not taken as seriously as other forms of radicalization. It's taking place through social media, through gaming, through online gaming, through Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. What are the big social media platform providers doing to actually take some responsibility? I know we're awaiting the online safety bill, but that cannot come quick enough. But you're right, parents need to take responsibility. Sit down, speak to your children. Actually, do you know what they're doing online, who they're speaking to, what's trending? Have you ever taken the time to actually look yourself online? And then that's really important as well. It cannot just be always down to the school to educate. We have to take responsibility in the home as well.
Yeah. Now, of course, the very nature of some of those platforms you talk about, like Snapchat, for example, is the image appears and disappears immediately.
Absolutely, and there's obviously that issue that goes with it, but that doesn't mean that we just sit back and actually say, well, there's nothing that we can do about it because we can't see what's being shared. You can always find there's always a digital footprint with what anybody's ever doing, and it's not just that Snapchat, it's what's trending on TikTok as well, and people are being drawn in. I know myself, actually, if you go onto social media, even if you talk about something, it'll pop up on your feed. It's really ensuring that we have an awareness of actually what our young people are looking at today, and actually ensuring they know who to contact should they be worried. But I think the biggest issue here is actually because they're being radicalised and groomed, so many of the young boys don't actually know that they are at risk themselves, and that really does come back to how we can educate them to stay safe.
What is it about Andrew Tate that teenage boys like, do you think?
I have absolutely no idea at all. I think I don't really even know how to answer that. I don't know what anybody could like what he's saying, but it is concerning, actually, such a following that he does have.
Well, that's right. Deputy Chief Constable Maggie Blythe says he's a toxic misogynist with millions of followers online. It's absolutely terrifying. As we know, Tate is facing criminal charges in Romania for rape, human trafficking and sexual exploitation, which he denies. He's also being sued in civil courts in the UK. Now, she also says there's going to be a creation of a National Centre for Public Protection to support police forces. I think one of the other problems here is the police don't really have specialist knowledge of this. And of course, if you've got a crime like this, which is exponential, then they are ill-equipped to deal with it. And when you look at the numbers, 1 in 20 adults, or 2.3 million people in England and Wales, are perpetrators of such violence every year. And as we keep saying, the age of these offenders is going down. They are recruiting new officers, though, 4,500 to investigate rape and serious sexual offences over the last year. I assume you welcome that.
Absolutely. I think one of the other things that we need to consider is actually who's informing policy. We need young people to inform actually how to keep young people safe. I remember a time there wasn't internet and I didn't have a smartphone. Young people today, we are almost of a different race, actually, a different nation, from a different planet when it comes to the online world. We need to have young people, digital ambassadors, supporting the police to actually identify what's trending. They are the best people to be informing how to keep young people safe because they themselves are at risk. And what we need to be doing is engaging younger people to really be supporting how to identify those that are going to be at risk. And I think that's sometimes where we go wrong. We don't have the right people informing on policy. And these young people.
So I totally concur with you. I think that is absolutely the right thing, which is we need young people. I certainly can't say that I understand exactly what's going on in the same way that you can't. And I think it's a brilliant point, Emily. Thank you so much for your time this morning. That's Emily Constantis, who's Global CEO of the Safeguarding Alliance.
And yep, as the man and woman in the video was saying, you know, it's they're recruiting it's like those who spew the rhetoric, it's like, you know, they put out dangerous rhetoric and they don't even care. And it's legit, it's sad, you know, and it also proves that that at the end of the day, when women say, you know, they feel unsafe, that is what they are talking about. And now I'm gonna go to a video where they talk about child abuse. And then I will put the link in the chat so people can come up and we can talk about, you know, we can talk about the things that were talked about today. And then on the last topic is about what are your Thanksgiving plans. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you one more. Because at the end of the day, child abuse has to be it has to be talked about too, because at the end of the day, this is I would say this is you know, this is indeed a violence against women and children is indeed an epidemic. you know. But yeah, I will show you one of the videos right here that's talking about that as well. And I'm go ahead and play the video.
Next week, South Africa will turn its attention to the scourge of gender-based violence when the annual 16 Days of Activism campaign kicks off. Despite this drive, violence against women and children continues unabated. Preempting the national campaign, the community of Duncan Village in East London took to the streets, demanding justice for victims. This in the wake of the alleged rape of a 14-year-old boy by a man aged 74. A reporter, Abongile Yanki, spoke to gender-based violence activists from Maswin Manyan, Women's Rights International Organization. That's Dr. Leslie Ann Foster.
A very good day to you in studio and to the viewers. Well, the scourge of gender-based violence has once again resurfaced here in East London, where communities in Duncan Village were up in arms demanding that it comes to an end. And this follows a 14-year-old boy who was raped by an 48-year-old man here in East London and is currently out on bail. The community says that issues of gender-based violence are rife there, particularly members of the LGBTIQ community. They also say they are not happy and they feel unsafe as community members. They say they are not accepted the way they want to be accepted by community. They say their lives at risk every time they walk out of their homes. But with me, I have the director of the organization, Masimanyane, Dr. Leslie Ann Foster, to tell us about these issues of gender-based violence. Very good day to you too. And kindly tell us, what do you make of marches that communities mobilize and take it to the streets to say no to gender-based violence? How much of an effect does it have?
Good day to you and good day to all the viewers today. I think it is very, very exciting when we hear about communities actually taking up the fight against gender-based violence. I believe that the work that organizations such as Masimanyane Women's Rights International have done has raised the level of awareness as to the forms and the extent of gender-based violence in our country. And we work with communities to take local responsibility at the local level for addressing these issues. Because they are issues that are rooted in our families and in our society and a community, it takes a collaborative effort between the state and state agents such as the police and community-based organizations and individuals to fight the scourge of gender-based violence in our country.
The communities that were engaged in, one of the residents was telling us that substance abuse such as drugs and alcohol, they have an impact towards gender-based violence. What can you say on that?
Well, it is true to an extent that drugs and alcohol abuse is some of the drivers of gender-based violence, but they're not the only drivers. The real drivers of gender-based violence are inequality. It's the fact that women's lives do not matter, and I'm talking about women and girl children. It's that women and girl children have low status within our society, and because of that, their bodies are just used and they're commodified, what we call commodification of the bodies. So this is why gender-based violence happens. And it's because of our social norms which teach that men have the privilege to be able to control women's lives and their bodies, and that women are subservient to men. That's so much of the gender-based violence happens. So part of what we are doing is looking at those social norms and looking at ways in which we change attitudes and behaviors, the way in which we change the way we relate to one another as women and as men, and boys and girls as well. So we have to get down to the root cause of gender-based violence in order to shift it. So the work that currently happens on prevention education, which is awareness raising. It's your marches, it's the protests that you have. These are very important because they raise the consciousness of the nation to how serious the problem is. And so when this happens, we are very happy because we know that the work we're doing has an impact. It's reaching people.
What about the LGBTQI community? They say they are unsafe in that area. In terms of your stats, where do they lie? Is it rife amongst them that they also fall victim to gender-based violence?
I think the LGBTQIA plus community are very vulnerable because of the inequality in our society, because of societal perceptions of people that they perceive to be different. They feel that such people should be subjected to violence. Some people feel that way. So we know that there's high levels of violence against a particular community, people from that community. And it is true that people are killed because of their sexual identity. And that's wrong. On any which level you look at it, another human being has the right to be here and has the right and the choice to be who they want to be. And that is something that we need to work with communities to understand and to accept. So we're on a slow drive to getting that consciousness and that acceptance of people. We have a human rights framework in our country. We have a very progressive constitution, one of the best in the world. And in our constitution, the rights of every citizen, irrespective of who they are, of what color, what race, what ethnicity, what social background they come from, what educational background they come from, and particularly what sexual identity they have, is protected in that constitution. But the principles and the values of that has not yet been accepted by our society as a whole. So there is a real lot of work that has to happen around that. And that comes back to the work that the presidency did last year. We had an interim steering committee which looked at a national strategic plan on gender-based violence and femicide. And that national strategic plan looked into all of these drivers, looked into all of the different forms of violence and said, what is it that we need to do to change this? Because up until now, the approach has been to look at women as victims or survivors of gender-based violence, to then deal with them from that perspective. Now we're saying there's so much more. We've learned over the last 2.5 decades that there's so much more that needs to happen to change the trajectory of gender-based violence in our country. So the new National Strategic Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Femicide has got to be our guiding document in changing our society. So we're really looking at moral regeneration. We're looking at social cohesion in that document, and we're looking at a comprehensive strategy to eradicate gender-based violence and femicide. Remember, femicide is a really critical issue because so many women are losing their lives. They are being killed by partners simply because of their agenda. So this is a very big challenge that we have in the country, which we are now addressing through the presidency.
Well, I thank you so much for your time. Well, that was the director of Masimanyane Women International here in East London, Ms. Dr. Leslie Ann Foster, telling us about what they are doing as an organization to eradicate and curb the scourge of gender-based violence. From us here in East London, myself, Abungile Yankees, and my colleague, Akabile Vena, it's back to its studio.
And that was a video of of people discussing violence against women and children. And again, it's a sad thing because again, you have children who become victims of these, you have not only women, but you have children that become, victims of this too. Hey, Cerebral, how are you? Welcome to the channel, Cerebral. Very interesting, and we all know that it will get worse before it gets better. Yep. Yep. It will get worse before it gets better. Um, and it's really sad. It really is, because women and children are human beings, and for them to just, you know just want to do everything and anything to a woman or a child is just, it's just legitimately messed up. Yes, these people are just evil and are breeding it. Sad to see. Yeah, yes, it is. Why is seeking knowledge? Yes, it is. It is. And I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do one more video. It, and again, it's going to get way worse before it gets good. But and I happen to agree that the death penalty is needed. I agree 100%, because this because what I just heard, the death penalty is needed. But yeah, this is one more. This is one more video, and it's called. The name of the title is called "The National Plan to End Violence Against Women and Children." Now, this was from 2022 to 2023, but I'm gonna go ahead and play the video. Here we go.
I'm here on Ghana land that was always Ghana land and always will be. I pay my respect to Ghana elders, past and present, to Ghana future leaders, and to elders and people of other Aboriginal nations. I am so proud that South Australia has showed its support for the National Plan to End Violence Against Women and Children. To show our support, we must, because violence against women and children is utterly unacceptable, and the scourge of violence against women and children continues. In signing up to supporting this plan, I'm really proud that this plan absolutely addresses gender inequality that often lies at the core of violence against women and against children. And I'm so proud that we have clear actions going forward to make a difference on this crucial issue. Whether you work in housing, justice, in sport and recreation, in a department that supports business and industry that supports tourism, we all have a part to play. I look forward to working with you to make sure that we are doing everything we possibly can to prevent and end the horrific scourge of violence against women and children. Let's work together to end violence against women and children in one generation.
And yep, and yeah, that's the last one. But yeah, the violence against women and children is through the roof, and story after story after story, you know, you hear about a woman that has been raped, unalived, or survived a domestic violence dispute, and or and or you know, the children being abused and unalived and raped and everything. Yeah, that is going on. And the red pill and the the red pill dudes are not helping. They're not. Because the rhetoric they put out there is exactly why why the violence against women and children continues. It's literally a majority of men all over the world. WTF is happening on this planet? To me, the rhetoric from the red pill dudes like like Fresh and Fit and them, they are contributors to this. The violence against women, especially black women. And now hearing that children are being done wrong and abused too, that too is why, again, the red pill is creating this. The red pill is creating this. Fresh and Fit are racist towards black. Yeah, exactly. Yes, they are, Cerebral. Yes, they are. Fresh and Fit is racist towards black women. They are. And they show it every time. Especially Myron. But yeah, I put the link in the chat, and so people can, you know, voice their opinion about the about, you know, what was talked about today. And yeah, again, the red pill manospheric dudes, at the end of the day, they are causing the problem, but they do not think they're causing the problem. That's the thing about it. But yeah, it's to me, it's really it's insidious to hear that both women and children are, are facing abuse. It's like it's like it's like, in my opinion, the red pill, has given men, the right to be a-holes and everything else. And not only that, but the kids suffer from that too. They're going to believe that, oh, it's okay to treat a woman this way because his father treated his mother that way. But yeah, at the end of the day, when it really comes down to it, is this: the red pill is not making things better. There are women having their lives taken. There are women being raped, and it's like the red pill doesn't want to talk about. They always, and the thing of it is, they always blame the women. They always blame the women. That's the thing about it. And like I said, at the end of the day, and Cerebral was talking about, the death penalty should be allowed for rapists and child abusers. I agree, because this is getting out of hand. The 4 videos that I showed y'all, it has shown to me that it's getting out of hand, and it's about time that it comes to an end. It has to, because now child abuse is is going into the spotlight too, right along with violence against women. And like I said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And within the Black community, the violence against women and children is through the roof, and who child abuse is wrong. and abusing women is wrong. And you have these red pill crazy people who want to go ahead and, do and say what they want, and, say what they want without any repercussions. Then, when something happens, all of a sudden they do not want to take accountability for it. This is one of the main reasons why I applaud men who speak out against the manosphere. And I also applaud women who speak out against the manosphere and, talk about black femicide and child abuse. Because that has to be talked about. But yeah, I want to go to the third topic of tonight. And the third topic is what's your Thanksgiving plans? I have the link up here. Because I know everyone is planning for Thanksgiving. And well, my plans are, we gonna have turkey and everything else, and I and we're also like with my family. We're also going to be watching some wrestling. Every Thanksgiving, there is a pay-per-view called Survivor Series. So yeah, we're gonna be watching that as well. Ah, I'm going. I'm cooking turkey wings, collard greens, mac and cheese, stuffing, and sweet potato pie. Ah, cerebral. Those are my favorite. Those are my favorite foods to fix during Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's Day. Even though we sometimes go out and get pizza for New Year's Day, we still do turkey wings, collard greens, mac and cheese, and everything. Yeah, we still do. The StreamYard link is in the chat if anybody wants to come up on the panel. I believe that on a spiritual level, men always knew that women are the portals of life. They spent centuries pushing us down, especially black women, and they made sure to brainwash generations of women. Again, Indiana mom, you're right. You're right again. You're right again. Mm-hmm. Oh, you gonna buy a patty pie? Oh, oh, okay, Cerebral. Okay, okay. All right, Cerebral. Now that women don't need men like they did in the past, the men don't know what to do. They don't know how to level up their personalities and characters, and they are getting angry at women again. Yep, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Indiana Mom. Yes, indeed. But yeah, I I'm thinking with me and my family during this Thanksgiving, we may mac and cheese will still be involved, stuffing, collard greens, and turkey wings. I think and I think we're gonna have ham with it as well. You know, and you know, at the at the end of the day, it is what it is when it comes to Thanksgiving. Cerebral Talks TV. I'm subbed to your channel, loving your content. Will you be going live? Question mark. Uh, it, if Cerebral goes live, I'll be sure to be over there. Yeah, because Cerebral, she got some in, interesting topics over there too, and she also talks about the abuse that women goes through and the child abuse. You know, thank you. I'm not sure when my next live is. Going after thanks. All right. Um. Yeah, because my my last live on on YouTube will be on December 8th, and I won't be going live again until February 1st. But I might go live before that. I'll be I'll be over there. I'll be over there to support you, Cerebral, if you go live before or after Thanksgiving. Awesome. Looking forward to it, and I'm available on if you need backup. I mean, and I also want to say this as well. You know, when it comes to women and abuse, uh, there will be there. I mean, because I see women. I see women, that have their lives taken, that won't be with their families for Thanksgiving. And it's it's legitimately sad. It is, because having one empty seat at the table, it really, it really, it it feels like there is a hole that hasn't been filled, you know. And but yeah, when it comes to the violence against women and children, it's it's really messed up, But yeah, yeah, when it comes to Thanksgiving, I think for me, when it comes to it, it really is, it really is messed up that that you know families, that are being affected by the by domestic violence, and families losing their loved ones, and you have those who lost their children. And I believe that it's messed up. I believe that it's time that black femicide is put out there, because every time that a black woman lost her life because someone she knew, or any woman from that matter loses their life because of someone that she knew, or because of a family member, you know, it has to end. It really does. It has to end. So I agree with Cerebral's approach to this. The death penalty should be legal, because as you saw in the videos that I showed y'all, it makes no sense to let the person that did it out again. It makes no sense. And I'm going to say this: the justice system needs to be fixed. It really does. But yeah, you know, even though it's Thanksgiving, I was at the store with my grandparents. I was at the store with my grandparents, and we're already seeing the Christmas stuff already being put out there, because it's almost December anyway, so yeah. Um but yeah, they're legitimately, putting up the Christmas decorations. I even saw an inflatable Santa in the store. I was like, they getting ready for Christmas already. Yes, I was thinking with a Dusty yesterday about this. Yesterday, all these children grow up these days because of the sensitive ego, because of the sensitive egos and a lack of problem solving skills of these degenerates. Yep, yep. Why is seeking knowledge? I agree. I most definitely agree. Why is seeking knowledge? Agreed. The boys are growing up and following negative role models, while the girls are growing up and feel no way for any other to live. I agree with you, Indiana Mom. I most certainly do. I can't. Wait, what's wrong with Christmas? What's wrong with Christmas? I have no problem with it. I can't stand Christmas stuff is put with the Halloween stuff here. Oh, I oh I understand. I understand. Yes, how can be. And after seeing, the videos, I believe and I think that it's time. It's time that and that's why I said the 4B. That's why I'm not against the women who wants to go 4B. That's why I'm not against too many women and children are having their lives taken. And yeah. And I I'm going to say this too, because it to the to women out there, black, white, Hispanic, Indian, um, Philip, and Asian women, be on guard, because something tells me this is going to get more dangerous before it gets good. Make sure you have your license to carry. Make sure you know MMA, and also make sure you carry pepper spray with you, because the men who listens to the red pill and the manosphere, they're acting wild right now. And see, considering the average boy won't listen to a woman, I raised my son to be a good man. You're concentrating on safety, on the safety and education. I say, take care of the girls. Yep, I agree. I most definitely agree. Let the men figure it out. Stop having babies. Yep, I agree. I heard today that Tennessee just banned same-sex and interracial marriage for the host. What? No freaking way! That's insane. The banning of same-sex and interracial. That's just messed up. That's just messed up. And again, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say this. At the end of day, I don't at the end of day, that's just messed up. But yeah, the girls and the young women deserve protection and information. The Gen X women have to figure out. Yeah, I agree. I most definitely agree. And yeah, I'm. It's a sad state of affairs that we're in. Um, but yeah, I want to say thank you all for coming to the live stream. It's been a good live stream. I want to thank everyone for coming. I also want to thank Cerebral Talks TV for stopping by. And yeah, I have my concerns as well. So I mean, yeah, and I wanna thank everyone who came. I think I will be going live on the 30th of this month. You know, I hope everyone have a great Thanksgiving, and yeah, the last live I'll be doing for this year will be on December 8th. After December 8th, I will be taking a break, and again I won't be live again until February 1st. So yeah. Great life, Alex. Thank you for the info. I'll be sharing this. My God, send that. Yes. Share this. Share this. Oh, and also like, comment, and share this. Share this video with everyone who wants to listen and get info out of the video, out of the video. Yes, shout out to Y is Seeking Knowledge and Cerebral Talks TV. Much love to them. Big time. Cerebral. You too, Y is Seeking Knowledge. Good. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna end the live right here. Again, I want to say thank y'all to the people who came, to the people who came to the live stream. Again, I appreciate I appreciate everyone, and like I said, I do not take y'all for granted. And I also want to say, I also want to thank everyone for supporting the channel over the years. Um, um, I'm looking to reach about 600 people. Is 600 um is 600 subscribers, because again we got to spread the information out there. We have to. And we going to be we going I think next year is where we will be having a movie night, uh, um and if if I'm thinking about having a Blue Sky account. That way we'll be able to have movie night over there. But that would be next year. Because YouTube, for some reason they won't let me, do movie nights on YouTube. But yeah, the last live stream on YouTube will be on the 8th, of December. and get and with oh you're on a Blue Sky? I didn't know you were on a Blue Sky. Um well, I have to hurry up and get the app, and everything, so we can start watching the movies over there. But yeah, like I said, it's been my pleasure sharing information with everyone, and yeah, um I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. And it's been a pleasure talking about, Thanksgiving, everyone's plans for Thanksgiving. Um, and yeah, I will see each of y'all on the next one. Love, peace, and happiness. Oh, and one more thing before I end the live stream. I promise that I will be doing a and like I said, I promise I will bring bring a bring a verse. Um um let's see. I'm looking right now. Looking I'm looking for the let's see. Let's see. It was a Bible verse that I promised I would bring up here. Um, hmm, hmm. Let's see. Mhm. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. God, see if I can get one of the Bible verse. Oh, I got one. Hang on. Hmm. All right, here we go.
Sleep surrounded by peace and comfort. Bible verses can guide you into a restful night. They remind us of God's promises and his unwavering love. Psalm 4:8 says, "In peace I will lie down and sleep." What a powerful assurance. Isaiah 41:10 offers another layer of comfort. "Do not fear, for I am with you." This promise can chase away anxiety and fill your heart with calm. Philippians 4:6-7 encourages you to present your worries to God. It promises that his peace will guard your heart and mind. Isn't that incredible? As you prepare for sleep, meditate on Psalm 23:1. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." This verse reassures you that you are cared for and provided for. Let these verses wash over you like a gentle wave. Allow the weight of the day to lift. Embrace the tranquility that comes from knowing God is watching over you. Sleep tight, wrapped in his promises, and awaken refreshed and renewed. Imagine
That was a good Bible verse. Oh, Indiana Mom, you're also on the Blue Sky too? Oh shoot, I might need to hurry up and get a Blue Sky account. But yeah, but yeah, at the end of the day, I promise y'all that I would do a Bible verse, bring a Bible verse, to the every time I end a live stream, I was going to play y'all a Bible verse. But yeah, I'm going to at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to yeah, I'm going to be doing things differently next year. Like every time I end a live stream, I will be ending a live stream with first a Bible verse, then I'm gonna go ahead and let the song, and well, then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play the outro. That's what I'm going to be doing. That's all I have for y'all tonight. Again, I want to say thank y'all for coming, and with that, I bid y'all a good night, and make sure to stay safe. Love, peace, and happiness. And until next time, peace. See, where's the outro music at? Oh, and I also want to say this. Next year, because my goal for the end of this year is to reach 600 people, and when I come back on February 1st, it will the next goal will be to reach 700 people, because like I said again, this right here, you know, this video has a lot of information in it, but yeah, I just wanna say thank y'all for coming, and until the 30th of this month, I bid y'all a good night.
I'm Sawyer, and a little thing that I love.
My bad, y'all. Home.